Hello guys, here Mr.L, and today I bring you guys another type of video. Um, I'm gonna react to the video that Asmongold actually uploaded about Ashes of Creation. It's a game I've been trying to keep up for the last couple of years. Then bought by the alpha versions, let's say like that. Uh, they were selling for 110, the cheapest ones. Didn't agree with the price, so I didn't went for that. Um, Asmongold is a channel that I've been following for a long time. If you guys actually come here on his videos, I do pick and choose what kind of videos I want to watch for him. But I've been following Asmongold for a long time. Um, he's a dope ass streamer on Twitch. I follow his channel too. And he drops some crazy videos on YouTube, sometimes 6 hours long videos. Uh, I've watched the entire thing. PoE 2, I was playing at the same time I was watching him. Um, but yeah, he's a dope ass streamer on Twitch. I recommend you guys go over there, subscribe to the dude. He has some good opinions. Sometimes he's wrong about some other things. Sometimes he's right too. But what can I say? With an eye, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But yeah, I've been following him for a long time. If you keep going down, you see. I've been watching a long time, Iceman Gold. Um, but yeah, let's go back to the
So this
video
is a
that he
video I
dropped.
uploaded,
I
I
already
guess it's like a
left.
few hours ago. And by I
Give
mean
me a second, Iceman. I already left the like on on the video, like I always do, and I do watch podcasts and long videos at the speed of 1.5. Okay, guys, I don't watch videos on normal or 125, and if I'm really paying attention, like to what people say, I'm go 1.5, and if I'm like just cruising, I go for 1.75. All right, guys. So yeah. Um, Besides that, let's see what he has to say. This is about Ashes of Creations and Narc. It's another content creator that upload a video talking about the developer team and the let's say like the natural truthful opening conversations and reality of what the developer team is doing on Astronaut creations and what they are uploading and updating and releasing to the public to actually see. Narc saying that he thinks they are lying and um, we will see. Um, just gonna let you guys know before we started, if my program finished the video at 40 minutes or 30 minutes mark, I'll do a part 2 or even a part 3. Okay, so even if the video shuts down between even me actually saying anything, uh, you already know that I'm gonna upload the second part, and even if it's needed, a third part. Okay, guys, let's go. And this is my reaction, my opinions on what it's going on, and let's see what Asmongold has actually to say.
the editors uploaded. If you read the comments in this video, the majority of people in these comments are getting angry. Obviously, like this has been a lot of negativity for the game, and so Steven came out and made a response to the video that I made talking about the game. Here we go.
Another thing, after I release this, if you guys watching, there's something that you guys don't go through with what can I say, with the speed that I watch videos, let me know on the comments, okay? And I'll try to slow down things for you guys. But I'm still trying to learning with this program that I download to edit the videos, but I have to actually pay the subscription. So before I even pay the subscription, I'm just gonna learn what the program can do and cannot do. Until then, I'm not gonna use any of that program to edit any of the videos I'm doing. I tried a couple ones, it didn't went the way I wanted. So until I actually learn how to use the program, I'm not gonna buy the subscription. Well, I can't do it right now, but in all the cases, I'll do that for you guys, okay? And let's go.
I just watched your video reviewing Narc's very unfortunate video about Ashes, and I wanted to take just a moment to go through a couple of the things that he says that I feel are really disingenuous and unfortunately paint a very negative light on myself, on the team, on the project. And I think that it's very intentional what he did in his video.
Why?
And I think it's important to the viewers that they have an opportunity to really inspect and understand what Narc is saying and whether or not it's accurate and true and whether or not there's a bias there, and if he's trying to paint a picture that is overly negative for the purposes of trying to defame the project because of whatever reason that he's become discontent about us. But
it's hard to know why somebody, like, unless I talked to Narc, I would have no idea why he felt this way. But as I said before, I think that whenever you get super invested into something, it's very easy for something like this to happen. Super easy.
I think the biggest takeaway in watching his video that can give a real clear sign to the viewers that what he is saying is not accurate is the way he portrays the desert. And 2 years ago we had let me set my speed a little bit lower. 2 years ago we had a showcase of our development update, kind of walking through the zone of the desert that was completed, so that players could see what that desert's going to look like, what the zone's going to be like. And in his video, he goes to the edge of the map. Basically, you can see, kind of this area, which is the entrance into the desert. And this desert is supposed to be relatively large. I mean, it's going to go all the way kind of down out here. And this section is still incomplete, right? We are building the game. We are in alpha. We've been very clear that there is a significant amount of work, of course, for us to do. The approach that I have taken with this project has been one to kind of show that process very clearly to the players. And he makes a claim that, what we show is not real or is fake to some degree or some way. And that's just completely false.
Before we keep going, guys, I'm going to try to keep my opinion after whatever Asmongold has to say. If I can't do that, I'll just say whatever I have to say, and then we'll listen what Asmongold has to say.
Purposefully.
So is this in Alpha 2 right now? Or Alpha?
It is.
1 or Alpha? I guess it's Alpha 2? This is in the game right now. Switch it to 1080p. Oh, sorry.
Goes out to the edge of the desert in his...
Bro, you was watching the game on low setting.
Video.
So it's... So the area was in the game.
Any context to the viewers that this whole section of the desert exists, right? This is some 26 square kilometers.
That's true. No, Steven's right. Like, I would have 100% got the impression that the desert didn't have this on there. The area is in the game that Narc showed, but it's just the edge and it's not fully finished. So both things are true. What Steven is saying here is true, and Narc saying that part of the desert is unfinished is also true. But
kind of true. For what I saw, it's kind of true. For what I understood on the Narc video, I do think he was on the edge of the map of the desert just by watching the video. But yeah, let's keep going.
From my video that I watched of Narc, I got the impression that the things that were being shown, and correct me if I'm wrong, for those of you guys that thought this from the original video, that the desert showcase that was showcased 2 years ago or whatever was not in alpha. That was my impression that I got. Okay, so everybody got the same impression. Okay, good.
You just look on the chat.
I'm not saying Narc lied. I'm saying I got that impression.
Yeah.
Desert area that is present within the world. And he doesn't show any...
This looks exactly like what was in the Alpha 2 test. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think Narc misrepresented it. Because
that's my opinion too. That's my point of view too.
This is the reason why. And I like Narc a lot, so I'm trying to... I want to be nice because I do really like...
It doesn't matter if you like or not, Asmon. If somebody is misrepresenting something, it is doing that, just whatever. Even if you like the person, just tell them the truth. But let's see what he has to say.
Like the guy. But I think he painted a picture that was intentionally inaccurate. Because it's very obvious that when you have an alpha for a game, the entire game isn't completed or finished. But to say that the desert that we were promised wasn't in the game is only a partial truth, and I think the partial truth hinges on not taking into consideration that the game isn't fully completed. Like, I've played AAA demos that are like this. Like, I played, like, let me think of some examples of this. No Rest for the Wicked, the demo for that. Like, a lot of the game wasn't finished. I played, I think World of Warcraft is the best example. Like, how many of you guys remember the super popular videos that I did of WoW where I go into the alpha and it's not available yet? Or, like, there's big, huge swaths of the game that aren't doable. He also claimed the desert that they had was easily put in Unreal Engine in 10 minutes. Yeah, the desert not being expanded on. It seems like Narcos focused on nothing new has been shown in various alphas. Well, from my impression, that's not what I got out of it. Yeah, that's not what I got out of it myself. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He did make the claim that the entire desert could be generated in Unreal in 10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe it could. I have no idea, right? I've never used Unreal. I'm not good at it. That's probably not true. But, you know, maybe. I have no idea. We get so used to seeing an unfinished game release, work in progress on it. Early access is now perceived as a fully release on nowadays. Well, like, what I'm saying is that, so I guess this is kind of like, this is the impression that I got, right? So this is the desert. And so
I know some of you guys might not been following Asmongold for a long time, or even knew about him. But if you are, you already know what I'm gonna say. But Asmongold has this feature installed on him by default that every time he wants to explain something, he uses paint. In every single video. It's amazing. I do enjoy that.
So basically, this is the good part of the desert, and the red is the bad part of the desert, right? I got the impression
Oh man.
that this is basically where the alpha is now, right? Is this an accurate evaluation? That if you look at the
Yes.
alpha for the desert at this very moment, it's basically this.
Yes.
More or less, right? I mean, like, size, disparity, irrelevant, not important,
No,
but
it
just
doesn't
generally that's what it is. A bit
Yeah,
bigger, but
it
yes.
is that.
Okay. So, yeah, I was totally misled. I was totally misled. And it makes sense. This is the, Jesus Christ, this is embarrassing.
Don't
Alpha.
worry about
Yeah, this is the alpha part. And so it's not finished. You got played, sadly. I didn't get played. I didn't. No, that's the thing.
You got
Is that
deflect
I
to
didn't get
the
paid or
wrong
played. Yeah, that's the
direction.
problem. A lot of other people got played, and people got mad at me because I wasn't played.
Well, my point of view for nowadays, well, it's different from back in the day, but like back in the day, it was more or less the same way that like Black Myth Wukong did. You know, they developed the game. I don't know from the top of my head now how long it took, but they developed the game, they released the trailer, and then they released the game, a finished game. For at least from you, from 1 to 10, it was a 9.5 out of 10 game. Should have won Game of the Year, but that's another point. Um, Back in the day, it was like that. Nowadays, you go like through Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 20, Alpha 100, Beta 1, Beta 2. Some games don't even ever release. They just stay on beta, like Warframe, Star Citizen, I think is still like that. So, yeah, nowadays the companies and developers just release the game on like that on beta, and oh, we're gonna update, we're gonna hot fix. And like, for example, I did a video today about the hot fix, or I think it was 1.2.3 of the first Descendants, fixing some issues, nothing too big, but it's a self it's a game that's keep constantly updating seasons, battle passes, and all of that. Just, of course, you're gonna create some bugs, some um, let's say um, over the top damage on some classes, some weapons, and they want to balance that, of course. But now um, an alpha 110, that's crazy, bro.
This point is misrepresented by Steven. Pull me up and I will explain. Okay. I'm going to let this person explain, and then we'll continue the video. I apologize. It's been a very contentious thing for
I'll skip this. I don't really care too much about the opinion of somebody else. Just watching the video and would let's
me,
give
and
it a
so
shot.
I'm very caught up in this. Can you quickly pull up the NARC video showcasing the desert? I can. I will do that. I think that's a really good idea. So let's listen to what he said. Actually, wait a minute. Let me go back to the chatter. Sorry. A lot going on. Okay, this person still hasn't responded. So let's listen to what Narc said.
For developers to do this. This is simply not true because developers that do this receive a lot of negative backlash, selling promises and pre-orders on a showcase an expansion.
I'm just going to be talking about what's going to land on December 20th. We're going to go through what systems are going to land come December 20th. Let's talk. The desert is probably going to receive a little bit more love than the tropics will, given that it's...
This prompted people to finally expect some remnants of the desert showcase that was shown in 2022. Yet what we received was this, an empty wasteland that could be generated in Unreal Engine.
No, look, guys. He's not even showing the map, bro. He's not even showing the map on the screen, bro.
5 in seconds, with the Winstead and Mr.L nodes being copy-pasted onto them, slightly rotated. The state of the desert has obviously sent a lot of people into a
Look on this. Look on this. Let me go back. Look on the
the desert is probably going to receive a little bit more love than the tropics will, given
the camera movement.
That it's...
This prompted people to finally expect some remnants of the desert showcase that was shown in 2022. Yet what we received was this, an empty wasteland that could be generated in Unreal Engine 5 in seconds, with the Winstead and Mr.L nodes being copy-pasted onto them.
He keeps the camera at 45 degrees. He doesn't do a 360.
Slightly rotated. The state of the desert has obviously sent a lot of people into a
Sometimes you have to look between the lines.
confused frenzy, with Reddit posts popping up expressing this concern. This isn't just isolated to me, guys. This is what everyone in the community feels. However, these posts are now being locked by Steven Sharif himself, and people are being...
So this is in the alpha, right? This is the desert? Okay, so how did this get misinterpreted? The part Steven said is complete already in the game for the most part, and Narc got mad that they said launch phase 2 with the full desert and they didn't add anything. Did he say? I didn't hear full desert. Did you guys hear full desert? He never did. Yeah, I didn't hear that being said at all.
No.
I don't know where this is coming from. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, this is misleading. It's misleading. Like, it is. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Is present within the world, and he doesn't show any of that, which I think is really just unfortunate. Here we have a little player here. Hold on. I'm going to give them a Christmas hat because they found me. So, you know, just kind of running through the space, you know, you ask yourself, why would Narc purposefully show for a minute and a half in his video a completely barren section of the edge of the map to try to demonstrate to the viewer that what we showed was not real, when in fact there is a...
It was misleading. It was like this is absolutely misleading.
Huge.
The worst part is most people that watch Narc's video and then went to actually grab or try to grab any more knowledge, just stick with Narc opinion, and it's really hard to change someone's opinion once they listen to the first person, because you're gonna keep with the point of view of that person. So yeah.
Huge portion of the desert that is complete, that is a playable space, that has monsters in it, that is exactly what we showed in our preview of the desert biome. It's completely disingenuous, and it's intended to influence the viewer's perception of us, of myself, and to demean, you know, our character, which is just completely unfair. And we don't have a way to inform all of the people who go and watch Narc's video. You know, it has over 100,000 views now, or your video, which is going to have, you know, 500,000 or a million views, and people are going to walk away from that video and they're going to think, wow, you know, why would they show something that is inaccurate when here is exactly what we showed, right? So I think it's important that people see that, and I think it's important that they understand that this section of the world is here, that we do not show any updates or development that is not real, that is fake. I understand that people have been burned through many other developments that have, you know, shown things that aren't exactly accurate.
Anthem.
But that's not the...
This is not... This looks like a desert area that I would expect to see in an MMO, and it looks...
It looks fine. It doesn't even look like...
It's some kind of boss. Yeah, this looks fine. It looks really good. Yeah, Steven is also misrepresenting this. No, he's not. So Steven saying the desert is incomplete and Narc saying the desert is not what we were promised. One of...
Like, for sure that Narc actually showed something that was at the edge of the map. For sure.
These statements is true.
He only showed like a 45 degrees, so he probably picked like a spot on the map that had, like, for example, if you stay here and you wanted to show just this 45 degree and nothing of this is built, you're not going to show nothing of this, but you can show all of that on the 45 degree. Can you see my mouse over here? So yeah, you're not going to show nothing of this, but you're going to show all of that that's not built. That's what I think it is.
and the other
But
one is simply not true.
Let's go and see what. That's only 14 minutes. I'm already at 20 minutes mark.
The alpha was never advertised to be 100% like asset or feature complete. This was never a promise. It was never advertised. And in every single alpha for every single game, this is what happens. And if you play any game in an alpha state, you see situations like this. And if you don't believe me, look at me playing games in alpha states, like search Asmongold Alpha, and you'll see me playing games that are like this.
Mm-hmm.
No shit, yeah. Yeah, PoE 2 doesn't have 3x, exactly. Yeah. Steven is also misrepresenting this. They stated on December 20th that the alpha in the desert was expanded, but everything that Steven was showing was already in the game, and the expansion is what Narc was playing. That's not what Narc said. Listen to what he said.
And the Tropics location?
This prompted people to finally expect some remnants of the desert showcase that was shown in 2022. Yet what we received was this, an empty...
That is a factually untrue statement.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Wasteland that could be generated in Unreal Engine 5 in seconds, with the Winstead and Mirrorleth nodes being copy-pasted onto them, slightly rotated. The state of the desert has obviously sent a lot of people into a confused frenzy, with Reddit posts popping up expressing this concern. This isn't just isolated to me, guys. This is what everyone in the community feels. However, these posts are now being locked by Steven Sharif himself, and people are being banned by Steven Sharif himself for simply stating their concerns. There was a beautifully written post about this, talking about how the project is not the open development that we were promised, and it's Steven's reply to this thread that made me
yeah, I mean... So, what is this? You want me to go back? What am I going back to?
No, go back. You're
What do you want me to go back? What am I misrepresenting?
No, he's not gaslighting.
This is what I was saying before about how people have a bias for the first person who tells them something.
See? Yeah.
How can you possibly defend this level of this is such an obvious misrepresentation? How can you possibly say it's not?
Let me see if he has. Yeah, he has. Steven's response. Conversation. Oh, he's gonna have conversation with Narc. Conversation with. Oh, nice. Let's go.
I don't understand this. Like it's so fucking obvious. Go back and Narc. Go back to what? What do you say? You're saying go back. Go back to what? Narc mentioned the expansion and then wrongfully showed the edge of the map, but Steven showed in his response video the old showcase area, not the expansion. Yes, but Narc implied that the showcase area in the showcase was not in the game. That's what the video that he made implies. An average viewer that would watch that video would think the showcase that was available 2 years ago was not in the game. This is kind of confusing. No, it's not. 20% of the desert has assets, 80%.
20% of the desert has assets, 80% of this, it's empty. Can you please, bro, agree one, please. If you ever watch my video, bro, listen to this, what I'm gonna say, okay, brother? Right? 20% of the desert has assets, and 80% of it's empty. It's a fucking desert. It's a desert. It's not a forest. This is the same thing you say, man. 20% of the ocean has water. 80% is empty. Well, I don't even know if that makes sense, but keep going.
It is empty. The rest of the map has nothing in it. It's not in the showcase, and that's the point of Narc's video. Well, here's the point, too. Am I going to believe... Like, Steven has spent, like, 3 minutes riding around in the desert, zoomed out with, like, movement speed turned on.
Well, just for the point of view, guys, to listen to this. This is not a desert, bro. This is not... This looks to me like Africa. Like where the lions go and walk. A savanna. A desert. It's a desert. Oh man.
On showing the desert in large swaths from a bird's eye view. Meanwhile, Narc is showing one clip of one.
Well, for sure you have some types, different types of desert. You know, like you have the dune type of desert, and you have the mountain type of desert. I think America, United States of America, has the mountain type of desert. But still, this looks to me a little more like the savannah where the lions, the elephants go. You know, like doesn't
Area
look
in
like
the
a
desert.
desert.
So my logical brain is going to assume that the person who is showing more information is probably going to be more right. Like,
Sure.
how can you not think like this? It's shocking that how is this even happening?
I don't know. You gotta ask.
The phase isn't done yet. No, it's not. Like, log into the game. How much of phase did you plan?
Log into the game and go look how much of P2 after you played. Didn't get banned. Chatters, I can't.
Didn't get banned, chatters. I can't. No, you're not going to get banned. Why you're not going to get banned for disagreeing? You're kind of annoying, but like you're not going to get banned for this.
Yeah, he's annoying.
Log into the game and go look. Where's Narc's minimap? It's not shown. Phase 2 is being rolled out in patches. This is the test serviceability. Thor did the same thing this morning. He debunked all this on stream within the first hour while bug testing. Top right? No, it's in the Narc video. There's not an indicator of a... Like, look. This is how long the clip is.
An empty wasteland that could be generated in Unreal Engine 5 in seconds with the
Not
Winstead and
showing
Mirrorless
nothing
nodes
else.
being copy-pasted onto them, slightly rotated. The
The
state
minimap isn't shown. Anyway, let's go back to this video.
I'm not the only one. Where's the minimap, bro?
Case for us. Here's our scorpion mama.
It's a big boy.
Let's take a look at her. How's she doing?
You mad? Nope.
Oops. Okay, she got a little angry.
Oh.
Definitely got a little angry. But we'll leave her behind. So that's an important point. The other thing that I wanted to talk about for just a second.
Tell me if this doesn't look like the savannah. Have you guys ever watched like National Geographic episodes of like lions and hyenas and buffaloes? It looks like the savannah, bro. Doesn't look like a desert, man. At least to me.
Was that we're 230 plus people that are working on this project, and Ashes of Creation is obviously a very ambitious MMORPG that we're trying to create, and it's not always going to be rosy and
No, it looks like a desert.
sunshine in the development process. There are steps that we're going to take forward, and there are steps that we're going to take backwards.
Well, it's very evident that part of the desert is finished and part of the desert isn't finished.
Yeah, you can look on the ground.
I mean, we're already seeing this right now.
Oh, see. Yeah, good point of view, bro. Not
Like,
bad.
And that's okay as long as we stick to that transparent aspect of showing our
Look over there. Look over there. This guy, Steven, whatever his name is.
like
Guys, just look over there.
and that's
gonna try
okay
to
as long
pass.
as we stick to that
No. That area is not finished. See? The map. Look. Look. Why this didn't show on Narc video?
transparent
See? He avoided to go there, and he goes towards here. Because he's looking at the map. He knows what he's doing. So he knows that the map is not finished. Like, that's what Narc showed. But most of the desert is.
aspect of showing our community, showing our core audience what we're working on, and what's up and
You can see the difference quality over here on the ground. From this place over here all the way there.
coming. We're now in this Alpha 2 phase where
See the difference? See? Pretty sure this is a little bit more dark over there, but you can
players
see
are
the
capable of
difference.
participating.
no, somebody says Narc shows the minimap at 10:09. Let me see.
Oh, I want to see this.
by me or any community member, the
See? At the end of the map. Come on, bro.
On the edge of the map.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Bro. Oh.
Okay, I'll be right back.
He's leaving.
I'm right back. Give me a minute. And quite literally say the populated part of the desert behind him. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that there should be no confusion on an alpha not being completed. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know what else.
Narrative is that it's just an alpha, and therefore it's okay. It's not okay. It wasn't okay for all previous Kickstarters to do this, so why is it okay for Ashes of Creation? For Steven...
Because it is okay.
It's enough.
The difference between...
It's not all developers release alphas at the same level, detail, level of quantity of like assets. Bro. Yeah. I'm probably gonna do it a part 2 and a part 3, guys, because I'm starting to get hungry. I need food. Hungry, not hangry. I need food. 23 minutes, man. 30 minutes video for 23 minutes, man. This is gonna be like 10. No, man, I'm just gonna keep going. I'll eat a little bit later.
5 days a week, although we've been up for the past almost 3 weeks now, in phase 2. And not everything, we have a roadmap, a very clear roadmap of when additional systems and features are going to be included. And we're going to obviously try to stick to that feature roadmap. But there are things that can happen in development that can set you back. And we are open and honest about what.
Oh, bro, I can explain. I think Steven and Narc both have a miscommunication. No. No, that's not what's happening. Like, no, like, look, I like Narc, but
I want to see what Narc is.
That's not what's happening.
Man, come on, Asmon. 45 minutes.
And it is very unfortunate when, Narc...
You're watching Steven's response, then you're gonna speak with him. What? Man, you could have skipped this.
For the purposes of acquiring, views and or followers and subscribers,
who knows why?
Wants to take things to a very negative place.
I don't know why. I don't even think that's the reason.
But instead,
personally, I don't even think that Narc is doing it for views. I don't know why he's doing. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's just for views.
He's probably upset about something.
He had an opportunity to expand upon what we're doing to kind of educate people as part of this transparent development process what it takes to make an MMORPG, and for many years he did that, but over the course of the last year he went to a very negative place. And
what it takes to make an game like Ashes of Creation is a lot of money and time.
And because of that, we didn't engage with him at all as a content creator, and I think that led to him creating this kind of negative echo chamber, which he became beholden to, which is unfortunate. So anyways, I heard your
like, I just negative place. I don't know what happened between him and the company. I have no idea. I don't like Steven's attitude of expectation towards free testing either. Well, I mean, I don't know, like, expectation of free testing, like...
Well, we've seen a little bit what the issue is. Let's go on Narc. Let's go. Let's keep this one.
Oh, yo, what's up, man?
Yo, Asmon, hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, well, I was having fun. I was playing Dark Souls, and then suddenly I wasn't playing Dark Souls.
Which Dark Souls were you playing?
Witcher 1. I've never played Dark Souls before in my entire life.
Oh my god.
It's the first...
Well,
Do you know what? Hey, two-shot Smog and that guy. I two-shot him.
I'm going to be honest, that is impressive. Smog and Ornstein. Yeah, in Orlando, that is impressive. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I was surprised.
So you're liking the game?
Molding. Yeah, the game's actually insane, and I'm really looking forward to... Obviously, I'm going to make a video about it and stuff like that, because of this whole situation. My goal is to distance myself with Ashes because of the whole situation.
So how did this start? Because it seems like I'm sure you probably... Did you see my reaction to your video and everything?
No, I didn't get around to it yet.
Okay.
But I got the TLDR. Apparently,
sure.
So apparently, you were... obviously, I'm paraphrasing, and I've got it from a bunch of Twitch chat aroundies. You were, disagreeing with the video, but then apparently your comment section was actually agreeing with me in the video.
A lot of people actually agreed with you in the comment section. A lot of the chatters did. And commenters.
So the thing is, if anyone's actually played the game, knows the truth, right? Because they've been to the desert, they know the state of the desert.
Well, how do you reconcile that with people like Pirate Software who have played the game a lot, who will show that that's not the case?
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what's going through Pirate's head.
Okay.
Because I don't know what he sees in the video game. I'll say to him though, he really, really likes the video game. And it's likely because he thinks the video game's going to be like EVE Online. I don't really think the game's going to be like EVE Online.
Okay.
I think it's trying to be more like Lineage or Arcade, not EVE. So
well, yeah, I know Steven played a lot of Lineage before this and Arcade as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So Pirate's his perception of the video game, I feel like is Pirate wanted to be one thing, which I just don't think it is, and it's never tried to be that. But then there's this other group who want it to be like classic WoW. Then there's the group who want it to be like Lineage. So there's factions within the game's community who want it to be in different ways.
I think that's a huge problem for like every MMO, because like every MMO is going to have like a faction of people that want it to be a hardcore PvP, or they want it to be a theme park, or they want it to be an MMO, or they want to have roguelike features, etc. But it's impossible to manage all of those expectations, sure. But like, I mean, I think Pirate Software looked at, for example, like the desert, and I think that was really the main point of contention that a lot of people are bringing up. Is that
So the desert's currently in two sections. There is an old section of the desert, the thing that you've got on your stream at the moment, the current state, this section of the desert that looks quote unquote complete. This isn't complete. This is just a bare bones, empty area that's had trees placed around it. The grass, you can even see the grass in this screenshot right now is not rendering correctly because the grass doesn't render correctly.
Well, if you go closer to the edge of the map, and they are trying to update that section, let's say you have section A, the zone of the map, and section B, the new zone you're gonna upload and update. The closer you go to the edge, the less assets you're gonna see it. But let's keep
in
going.
This area, this is an unfinished area. It's got 0 points of interest. It's got 0 dungeons. All it's got is random mobs and random trees placed all around it. I made a whole video showing this segment of the desert in phase 1. I flew around this and I made a bet with Steven and said, you know what? If the desert exists, I'll cut my beard off. And guess what? I flew around this section and I was like, yeah, do you know what? The desert exists. I'll shave my beard off.
Oh, that's a lot.
And I fucking looked like a thumb. I looked like a thumb for, what was it, 2-3 weeks?
So then what changed?
So what changed was when phase 2 launched, they advertised phase 2 with a $110 price tag, having an expansion.
I'm so glad I didn't buy that.
To the desert. So that, and I say this explicitly in the video, it's all about the expansion. The expansion to the desert.
Did you say that in the video? I don't remember you saying that, because like, so, and this is the impression that I got. Well, you can see like, so like when I watched the video that you did, the impression that I got from the video is that
he's trying to mislead him.
You were showing the desert, and there was like nothing in the desert at all. Like all of the images that you showed you, and it looks like if you look at your mini map, you're basically on the edge of the map.
Well, if you bring up my stream right now, if you can,
sure.
Where I am currently is smack bang right in the middle of the desert. There is a node directly in front of me. This little crop of land is a node, right?
Yeah.
Ignore the crop of land. I don't care about.
That's a desert, bro. What you want to find over there? A giraffe, a tree, a whale. God, it's a desert, bro.
About the crop of land because that's just a node. The point is, all around it.
Anybody ever played Assassin's Creed Orange and saw the desert over there? Desert. This one has a mountain.
It's just emptiness everywhere.
Oh
there is no desert. This isn't a desert expansion. This is just sand.
But you can see, so I think that's.
It's just emptiness. I'm sorry, boys. It's a fucking desert.
That's a good point you're bringing up, and you're saying that the desert expansion doesn't exist, but the desert does exist.
Well, you can say that it doesn't have mobs or activities to do, sure, but more than that, it's a desert.
Well, the desert exists in the fact that they have just created a landmass with nothing in it. There is no content in this desert. There is.
This to me, this is not a desert. The other part was, but this, I look on this, I don't feel like it's a desert.
No, there is nothing to test in this desert.
But your video implied that the things that were advertised in the demo from 2 years ago were not present in the alpha. Is that true?
Yep.
Is that true?
Yep. And I would say, yeah, I'd stand by that. That's true. These things do not exist.
So if I look at it and I see the things that were shown in alpha in like this demo from 2 years ago, and then I look at the video that Steven's showing right now of the desert, I feel like these two things are pretty congruent.
Yeah.
So what things would you say that exist from both those trailer from 2 years ago and what Steven's showing? What would you say exists, quote unquote exists? Is it the trees?
Yeah, the developed landscape that they showed in the trailer.
Okay.
And also, and you're contrasting that because you making the comparison in your video that the comparison is actually it's this empty desert. Because that's what you're comparing.
This is a desert. Look, nothing. It's a desert. I'm goofing around, but I understand the point of view.
But if you look at the video itself and you see inside of the game, it does seem like that's what the game looks like.
I agree that the rocks exist. The rocks exist and the trees exist.
But do you see how if you do that and then you show this image of a completely like unfinished area, it's going to give people the impression that the entire desert is also unfinished?
Well, you've got to use the context that you've got to acknowledge the context that I've already made a 20-minute video showing off this section of the desert that Steven's currently showing off.
So that means, okay, that's fine. So what you're saying is that inside of this video, though, that context doesn't exist. Because like if there's a previous video where you've explained it, okay, so then you can see why people would be confused, right?
Yeah, I would assume that I don't reach a very wide audience, right? My audience has been the same 10,000 people for 3 fucking years.
Sure.
This game.
Yeah.
So when I make videos, I always assume that people have seen the previous videos. So it's like when I release a thing.
You can never do that. You can't assume people did the rest. You can always talk about like, hey guys, today I bring a new video, a different type of video, but you can't assume like people did watch the other ones. I never assumed that, you know. Of course, I'm starting now with YouTube, you know. I'm a little bit on the edge, you know, of the map, you know. I'm searching what kind of program I want to do, you know, going around what I like or don't like to do, you know, with the channel. Right now, I feel like I'm just gonna do whatever I want and what I like, you know. But you can't assume that.
I referenced the things that I said in the last video because it's always a continuation of when I'm covering the video game. So anyone who's interested in Ashes of Creation, I've already seen that previous Desert expansion video because I don't really reach an audience outside of my own 10 to 20k people.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. That's fine if you want to do that. But I think when you do have a video that does get popular, right? I mean, and I'm sure you would have expected this one to get popular.
Is it popular? I've not checked.
I mean, it's got 130,000 views. That's really good. I mean, it popped off. Yeah.
I'm gonna put some fucking ads on that one.
Yeah, me too. And so the point is like, so if I just watch that video, which is what I did, and I think also the odds are that every single person watching the videos is not.
Just look on the difference. 61k, 130, 8k. You can't assume people gonna watch anything you're doing, bro. You got 61k people. You got over probably 2 times of subscriptions you have on views, and less than whatever you will have over here on likes, man. You can't assume that. Come on.
Because and this is another way to look at it, right? Is that if a lot of people are angry about it and they're perceiving the desert to be incomplete, that would also imply that they also did not see the other videos either. Because if they had seen the other videos as well, like you said, then they wouldn't be making these comments because they would know that it was contextualized.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what all I'm trying to do is make a video explaining why I am no longer in support of this video game. Right?
Okay.
I don't support the video game anymore because
You could, come on, bro. You could just make a video of not supporting Ashes of Creation anymore, and for any kind of reason you have, whatever it is, but you didn't need to misleading people or trash talk the game. You know, you could have just jump off.
what they showed 2 years ago, this doesn't exist. This desert, this doesn't exist, right? Looking at my stream, I'm showing you this. This shit doesn't exist. What is this? Is this even an asset that exists? None of this exists, right? But when they showed it 250,
That looks like a desert, for sure.
sorry, 2 years ago for a $250 price tag based on this, the current state of the game. You saw these reactions, didn't you? You
I
were
did,
there
I
for
watched
that.
it,
You
yes.
were very excited. Did you have any impression that this wasn't the current state of the video game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you looked at this and thought, well, this is this is what they got, right? This is what they're showing us.
Yes and no. So like I've gone through a lot of betas and demos for games before, and I know that like for example, like there are many games that have cut content or they don't fully show the game whenever it's ready. And I think also there are cases where like big components of a game are not being added in until like later on in the future. Yeah. So I think if a game is in an alpha state, like every single image that you see inside, I think this is what your impression is, right? Is that every single image that you saw on these previews, you expected to be in the alpha.
Well, yeah, they showed this saying, this is the desert. There's many. If you watch that, if you go back and just watch that whole live stream, there is no context in that live stream that what they showed, this whole thing is just a concept. This is just the assets. They never once did they say that. They implied, they made it look like that this is the current state of the desert. It's not the current state of the desert. The desert probably didn't even exist at this point because the desert doesn't exist now. There is no desert.
Well, there is though, right? Because like if you look at the image that he showed, and if you look at it, you can see that there is a desert that's very expanded on. I think that you bring up a good point that like this image and this specific case with like this tower is not there.
Oh no, not just that specific. I would say everything in this trailer, doesn't exist. Everything.
What you mean, bro?
And you'll be hard pressed to find it.
Okay, well why don't you just pick a random spot?
This one.
So that's not in there.
Yep.
Okay, go to another one. So and by the way, this is just a random. I mean, you realize that's literally one asset that's placed on a mountain, right?
Yeah, but they sold the game based on this is the current state of the desert. We've got these dunes, we've got this,
Bro, the same way you assumed that your viewers view the last couple videos you've done were awful. Like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't think like that. You can't think like the developers are gonna keep the plan 100%. Things change. Oh, I found an asset that looks similar to the one we wanted to build, but it's cheaper to build. Done. Change. Oh, we released a trailer where the desert has red trees. The flea, the flowers are red, but the color doesn't sit too well with the light of the sun, so we changed for yellow. You're gonna aggro. You're gonna get angry with the developers because they changed the color of the trees. Things change, bro.
What's like a Badlands area. None of it's actually there. These trees, when they sold the desert expansion, they said that we could cut the trees down.
I
You
see the
can't actually cut
trees
the trees
over
down.
there.
The trees don't exist.
Yeah, I can explain this. Let let's say you have map A number 1, right? And you're gonna update map B, and you have the server for map A, and you have a under server that controls the mining, the trees that you can cut down and grab the wood and the rocks that you can mine to grab materials for you. If you upload the map B, but then you have to upload the under server that controls the mining things, even if you have the trees, the rocks, but you don't upload that server because it takes time and work, you will see the trees and the rocks, but you're not going to be able to do nothing with that. So you have assets on that side of the map that you can see, but you cannot interact.
You run through them. They are, they're not real assets. They're assets in the fact that they're there, like you can see them, but you can't interact with them. There is no interaction with anything in the desert. Okay. The mobs are just randomly placed, seemingly. There's no points of interest. So the Riverlands is full of these points of interest. There's about 18 or so, 18, 20 points of interest. You know, they're pretty, they're pretty fleshed out, pretty good. You know, especially the Terra Coffin. Terra Coffin looks great. But the desert is missing all of that. It's what's missing all of that, right? This is what the quote unquote expansion to the desert is. It's this.
So what do you like, how do you define, because like I think this has been a big problem with the Ashes of Creation like development, and it's
Holy.
Wait, what?
You're not wrong. The whole thing where, you know, what's what.
Well, what is it like? Yeah, like how do you define an alpha? Because like, so like I played through a lot of alphas in games, and like some alphas are very different than others. Some of them will have like the entire game available, and they'll be.
For example, I was playing Star Citizen Alpha, still on Alpha, I think. I don't play it for like 4 months now, and they have a bunch of ships on the website that are not in the game. But every few months, they release some of the ships that you can see on the website. You're gonna say that the ships are in the game, you can see them on the store, but you can't buy them. They are not real assets. They are real assets, not just on the game yet. The same thing with the trees. You need to wait.
Huge swaths of just totally unfinished content, and other people will only have an alpha where it's a small slice of the gameplay, but it's finished inside of that little small area. And so, like, how do you define alpha? Yeah.
So Ashes is obviously not a marketing alpha. However, they have marketed the current progress of the game falsely. Another really good example is the Freehold livestream. Did you watch that one where they showed off?
I did. And you're talking about the rabbit mount where they're there.
Yeah. So the Freeholds, they're not real either. They've just been implemented into the game. There is no pigs. There is none of this.
And when you say there is none, what you mean is that the alpha doesn't have any in them, any of that system right now. That's correct?
Yeah. So currently in the alpha, what the Freehold is, it's just a static asset with a fence and a house that's randomized seemingly. I'm not quite sure how I think it's just a randomly generated house.
Yeah.
Then you walk up to it and then you purchase it for 20 gold or 50 gold, and then it's supposed to have the ability to plant trees.
So what do you think? So like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, so do you think they're not going to finish it, or like, because I feel like that's like a textbook example of something that they clearly have. This is the rudimentary version of it, and they're going to put more of it into the game, right?
But what people are discontent about is the fact that they
So guys, the video is coming to a 50-minute mark. If the program shuts down the video, don't worry, I will upload the part 2. Okay? Let's keep going.
Showed it 2 years ago in a complete state and in a seemingly fully functional state. And now we pledged $250 based off the idea that it was in that state, just to find out that 2 years later, remember this is a 2-year context, right? 2 years. So you'd think they'll be much farther along than what they showed in 2 years. And we spent hundreds of dollars to support it, but now it's seemingly only just being rolled out. But I think that's what a lot of my community are discontent about, and it's why I don't really feel like, what I feel like, Asmon, is I feel like I've lied.
Man, for what I'm listening, bro, my opinion, you just nitpicking.
To people for 4 years, based on what Steven said, and I feel really guilty that I've lied to hundreds of thousands of people because I thought what was being shown and what was being said was real, and it's not.
Well, it's not in the alpha right now. I mean,
no, it's not in the alpha right now, but it's seemingly not even being developed, or it seemingly doesn't even exist. The story arcs is another really wonderful something I was super excited for.
Do you really think they're not developing the freehold? I mean, we have to assume that they obviously.
Oh yeah, they'll roll out the freeholds. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're not going to. I don't think I've ever said that they're not going to develop it. What I'm saying is I don't agree with how they've sold $250 packs of the things that.
But the problem is over there. He doesn't agree with that.
Making it seem like it.
I think Jordan Peterson actually said this on one of his podcasts, and I think on the book too. He said something along the line like this: if you're trying to speak with someone, they're not listening, shut the fuck up and start to listen what people are saying, and they will tell you what their position is. Yeah, something along the lines like that. Yeah, most of the times you should just listen when people are speaking.
Exists when it doesn't exist. I don't agree with that. Therefore, I decided, do you know what? Ethically, I can't continue doing this. I can't continue because I feel like I'm lying. I don't want to lie.
Okay. So do you think if the alpha was free, how would you think that would change your perception of the game?
How would it change me? I mean, if it was free, nothing would matter, right? If it was free, then funds.
Yeah, that's all I needed. That's all I needed. I don't need anything else. Yeah, pretty much that. See, just listen when people are talking.
I'll be pogging out if it was free.
Okay, so you're primarily upset about the price of the alpha, and you feel like that the alpha for the price of it isn't giving you what you thought that you spent your money for. Is that pretty much it?
What's happened? Yeah. I feel just the context as well is that I didn't actually pay any money. Someone I used to know actually donated me a key back in Alpha 1, so I've got context all the way back in Alpha 1. Right, I know the full development. I know all of it. Right. What I'm saying is when I say I spent $250, I'm speaking for my community. So I spent $250. Yeah, based on what was shown. So many people have approached me and just said to themselves, I backed during this showcase because I looked at this showcase and I thought, holy shit, they are so far along. I'm going to help support them.
Bro, you didn't point any gun to anybody to buy the alpha. They bought because they wanted. After they buy and they play the game, they actually see it was not something they were thinking they're gonna get, and they start to complain. It's not your fault, bro. You can say, yeah, buy the game. I can stay here all day and tell you guys, yeah, buy the First Descended. It's a great game. Nah, bro. It's a decision that people are gonna make. I'm just gonna say, man, I like the game. The game is fun for me. If you want to buy, if you want to give $30 for the game and buy, but it's not something you're gonna enjoy, that's your fault, bro. Not mine. I'm enjoying. If you bought the game or not buy the game, if it was a key given to you, but you're not enjoying the game anymore, just jump off.
$250 just for them to log into an alpha that is, this.
Okay. So do you think they're going to finish the game? Like, I mean, so because you said at one point that it was like fakery, and then at another point you said that it was not a scam. So like, where do you think the game is going to go?
So I think they're falsely advertising the current state of the game. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, they've been falsely advertising the current state of the game to make funding, to help fund their game. So what I said in the quote that I used was, "This isn't open development; it's funding at any cost." So that's what I feel like they're doing. They're trying to fund. Steven's trying to.
That's a good point of view.
Fund the game at any cost, even if they have to lie and show fake things that aren't real at the time. It's just a concept that's going to eventually exist. If we'd known that, if I had known that, if you had known that, would you still have the same perception of the video game from 2 years ago?
Do you want my honest answer?
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely. I've seen how a lot of games have been developed over the years, and I think this is very common. So like one thing, yeah. So I'll give you an example. Like, well, let me. This is an abstract example. I'll explain it. So in Warlords of Draenor in WoW, their flying was never actually implied.
Let me say before you speak, husband, if you creating a game and you're let's say like the same way you develop a manga, you know, like you start the story and you have a vision of what's going to be the end of that, but the longer you create your manga and the story, sometimes things change along the way to the end of your first vision, and you might change that even if your vision was I'm going to end as a red, but at the end of that you end up as a green. Things change, bro. You know, it is what it is. It happens all over every games that's been released. You know, things change.
For what the Draenor continent was meant to be. And so in the process of flying not being implied and flying not be planned for, Blizzard had a massive, huge problem that caused server-wide issues when they had to implement flying later on in a later patch. And what I understand is that the interconnectivity of different systems causes a bunch of problems that exist inside of an ecosystem of other systems. So when somebody shows me a system inside of like its own ecosystem, like for example the Freehold, and I see that just by itself, I'm viewing that as like, this is what the finished product is supposed to look like. And I wouldn't necessarily expect to see that in the game immediately, because maybe that isn't contextualized and developed around all the other systems it's supposed to fit into. It's like kind of...
Yeah, because it takes works. And if you see a easy path to travel towards your goal, you might take it, but that doesn't mean you're not going to release things you spoke or versions of that, you know.
Kind of you're showing like a finished piece of a jigsaw puzzle.
And we all know sometimes company really lie,
but you need to make sure that all of the other pieces around it also are finished in order for the pieces to fit together.
Yeah, exactly.
So whenever I see a system like that that's not finished, and then the alpha, and I think that your perception of being disappointed that these things are not available, I think that's a totally fair perception to have, because as a viewer and a fan, you are hoping to see that in the game, and I think that a reasonable person could be disappointed in that.
Yeah,
I do think, however, that it does make sense inside of game development. And like, have you ever done coding before?
No.
Okay. Well, I've barely done coding. And one thing that I've learned about coding is that you can get one wrench in the system, one bracket is left and not right, and then the entire system falls apart. You make one change, and then the computer doesn't work, or the program doesn't boot up. So when I see systems that are evolving, like kind of in real time that they're showing, they're probably going to show. Go ahead.
Let me interrupt.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Blizzard, right? We're talking about Blizzard. And like them showing Warlords of Draenor.
Well, no. So I was creating an example of something that. So the idea, the argument that I was trying to make was that when you implement a system into a game, that system has to seamlessly integrate into all the other systems into the game. Exactly. So a lot of times when alphas or betas for something like Warlords of Draenor comes out, let's say, every single system that was going to be in the game is not currently in the game. Like for example, the Legion system.
Okay. Let's focus on that then.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I don't think. This is what I'm saying. I don't think Intrepid were open about the fact that what they showed was not the current state of the video game. They, in fact, did the very opposite and said that this is the current state of the video game. In that very live stream, I can bring a context. In that very live stream, we had the devs talking about the fact that how there's this dungeon that exists in the desert, and it's this underground dungeon with snake people in it, and they showed those snake people models. They showed those models,
yeah.
And they said there's this underground dungeon, it's full of lava, it's been crystallized. This was 2 years ago. So if they're talking about it in that detail, then it exists.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist. But it's 2 years later, and now that doesn't exist. So what happened to that underground lava dungeon that they were going on about? They were saying things, and here's how it comes across to my audience, or the audience that, I like to think that my audience are actually the audience who jumped onto the video game when you and Lazy P on made your videos at the very beginning.
There's been a lot of people that have been really excited for the game. I mean, for a whole, probably like almost half a decade at this point. I think about it. Yeah, it's a long time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I like to think that people, that my audience, the people who I talk to, are those people. The people who come from you, the people who come from Peon, the people who have been watching the video game quite extensively for 4 years.
Yeah.
So when Intrepid show and talk about how they've got these tools that are going to develop the game extremely fast, and they spend an hour live stream saying how we're going to develop this world so quickly, and we've got all these next generation cutting edge tools that's going to, the game's going to be developed insanely fast. We've got all these biomes. Stephen makes quotes like, we've got cross sections of the desert, we've got cross sections of the forest areas, the riverlands, we've got the tabletop mountains, the badlands, we've got the volcano areas, and they're showing all of this stuff, but none of that actually exists. And now we're in a situation where we signed up to do a test, to test a video game that is so far from what they advertised that we're not even sure what we're testing anymore. We were fully prepared and understood fully that this was a true development alpha. We were probably the most understanding. We knew this. That's what we signed up for. But we didn't sign up for a desert that is not existing. We didn't sign up for a freehold system.
It's incomplete, right? The desert is incomplete. It does exist. It's just there are areas of it that are unfinished.
Let's talk about percentage. Let's talk about that. Incomplete. Let's talk about percentage of completion.
Hey guys, it hit the mark 1 hour video. All right, I'll make part 2. Okay, stay tuned for that. Until now, it's been great. The video, good conversation, really good points from Asmongold. Narc does make some okay points too. But yeah, we'll see what's the rest of the video brings. And yeah, being good. Um, Besides that, uh, jump on Asmongold. I'll leave the link on this video. Jump on Asmongold channel, follow, subscribe him, and follow his channel on YouTube. And try to see if you can find him on Twitch. And if you guys want, leave a comment, and I'll bring the Twitch channel of Asmongold for the next episode of this reaction to about Ashes of Creations from Asmongold. Dope ass streamer. Sometimes I go along with his ideas, sometimes I don't, but yeah, even I, sometimes I'm wrong. Yeah, like always, guys, like if you want, if you don't want, it's a free world. Subscribe and take care of yourself and the ones you love. See ya!